So now that we have this rotation set up, we can do some changes to this amount and scale this by using the age attribute of our particles. Let's just set the amount to 0. And if I go to my geometry spreadsheet, I can see that I have hide all attributes and I only want to preview the age. And we can see that the age goes to a maximum value of somewhere around 1.8. And we want to remap this value from 0 to 1.8 to a value of 0 to 1. And now back to my scene, back in my attribute wrangle, let's do this remapping over here at the top, and I will say remap age. I will create a variable called age, and I will say this is equal to fit, and we want to remap the age attribute from 0 to 1.8 to a value of 0 to 1. So just note that when I create this variable age, this is without an @ sign in front, which refers to the attribute. And if I remove this sign and just say age, this is now a custom variable that I can use just in this single wrangle. So now I will go to my amount over here, which is the amount that this rotation function takes. And I will say this amount, and I will multiply this by this age variable that we created. And I will hit enter. And if I go to my amount channel now and increase this, we can see that the particles will remain unrotated in front, and they will start rotating more and more towards the length of the trail. So these are now scaled by a value of 0 to 1, which is our age remapped. Okay, and now if I will look at the animation, now we can see that the particles are being rotated. One other thing we can do here is we can simply place this age variable inside a ramp. So I will say ch ramp, and I will just name this ramp rotation and comma age. And now I can create my ramp parameter, and with this ramp we have additional control over how our particles will rotate. So for example, if I were to grab this first keyframe of the ramp, I can set the rotation to appear later down our trail, as you can see in the viewport. And also I can make it end faster in our trail as well. Okay, so now we have complete control over how our rotation will look. What I want to do with this ramp will be, I simply want to fade in this effect in the beginning. So I will add a new keyframe here, and I want to fade out this effect towards the end. And I will grab all of these by holding shift and setting the interpolation to B-spline. Okay, so maybe just some slight adjustments. And this will result in a much more natural looking rotation. And if I were to go to my camera and play this animation for a bit, we can start seeing that the particles are rotating, and this is the effect that we wanted to achieve. So if I want the particles to go in the opposite direction, all I have to do is place a negative sign in front of my amount here, and now they are turning in the other way. So depending on your own personal preference, this amount value will be up to you to decide however much you want to rotate, but from my experiments, a value of 3.5 did just fine. So now I can just create a simple flipbook of this, and let's preview the animation in real time. Okay, so we can see that this rotation combined with the natural movement of the smoke creates a very nice and interesting vortex-like effect. And now we have a much more clearer idea of how the final effect is going to be.